Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us on Joy Asonye Live this beautiful day. I know that the economy is biting a lot of us, especially as we woke up to news that fuel has increased once again, making a tough situation even tougher. We'll not go into the political aspect of it. We'll talk about how you can manage this situation. It seems like the economy is bad, and you have to pay for fuel, move to work, spend all your money to work. You have to pay school fees. That if you are a parent, you have to go to the market and buy commodities in the market. The pressure seems like it's not getting any lighter. Then let's talk about your mental health. How can you cope within this period? That's what we'll be discussing. It's Eduvention hour, and you know Dr. James Komolafe is here once again to give us those very useful lifestyle protocol. Today we'll be looking at your mental health in spite of the economic challenges we all are facing. We'll be right back after this short break to introduce to you Dr. James Komolafe for today's show and get into how you can cope. We'll be right back. Economic challenges and this period, that's what we're discussing. How can you cope mentally, physically, and emotionally? Like Dr. James like to add, even spiritually, you need to cope and be at your apex of living. Doctor, welcome to the show. Dr. James Komolafe is a senior consultant, SAGBA Resources. He's also the brand ambassador Eduvention, or global rep. Thank you so much for being part of the
Thank you so
program.
very much. Good to be here. It took me some topsy-turvy driving in here because of the queues and all of that. In some filling station, you'll find fuel being served. Some are not being served, and you'll find mammoth crowd here and there. And that is a distortion to personal equilibrium that could also affect mental health.
Exactly. That could also affect mental health. And is indeed affecting mental health.
It's affecting
and this is a country that has not prioritized evaluation of mental health for a very long time. So first of all, I'd just like us to give perspective to the situation at the moment. Looking at this situation, you know that we're already at the verge. As bad as we thought things were, and you know we had talked about how people are secretly battling mental health issues. How exacerbated is the issue at the moment?
The sudden jump in pump price of fuel has exacerbated the whole case. But one thing is sure, Eduvention always has answers to every situation. Because Eduvention will teach you to look at what the situation on ground is, for which you ought or need to provide a ready-made, handmade answers to through a particular strategy, so that you can birth an intervention. Surprisingly, we woke up to the reality of sudden jump in fuel pump price. And Nigeria, for the type of economy, a monocultural economy whose productivity is
centered around fuel.
PMS, what do you imagine? Everything will now go skyrocketed. Prices of goods and valuables in the market, you won't find them the same way, because the man and the woman at the selling point there will say, well, it took me 5,000 to get here as against 2,000 or 3,000. And so he must get that money back from the final consumer. And so and the final consumer too will say, well, I'm spending more to get less value. So where do I block the gap? So what comes around goes around, and people who are just straight-jacketed, especially the fixed income earner, who just depends solely on salary, are going to be salaried out of this situation, and they can be dumbfounded, especially people who are working hard and not working smart. This is the time it's going to tell its toll on them. So what do you need to do? Eduvention says cascade what is happening now on the idea model. It's an idea. The government has introduced it, have introduced it as a matter of policy. And if it is so, what do I do? Where I cannot eradicate, how well can I mitigate? Where I cannot eliminate what is on ground? The first thing is never to live in denial, or to speak a cliche, it shall be well, everything will be all right. You must confront this monster headlong to see what to do. Protest, we have found out now that protest is not the same thing as production.
Right.
Yes, there are two different poles apart. A protest will generate value. Then we should have seen it in the last protest. In fact, Joy, some people now are on their way to the prison.
because
they protested.
No, I think it's because they protested and protested wrongly.
And protested wrongly, and some variables were also added. So what are we saying? You can route this situation and still be in charge through idea model. An idea model says identify the situation on ground.
Okay, so let's identify together. It's becoming tough. I have to pay school fees. I have to buy food stuff for the home. I have to buy
food, shelter,
clothing, and all of that. And all that, the prices for all of that seem to be to the roof right now. So let's identify that. It's beginning to bring economic pressures.
Yes, pressing everybody to the wall. So identify the situation on ground.
Economic pressures.
So that you know where you are, how you got there, and the various implications on what you have.
Right. I just had
the first thing you have is not money, meaning who you are, your value creation potentials, your personal identity. That's what we call human beings, not human doings. Before you do something, find out, am I still myself first? So you don't need to take anything personal. Oh, heaven is falling. It's not going to follow on you only. As it happens to you, it's happening to Joy Asonye life, although her husband is very, very solvent and all of that.
Wonderful.
So it's happening to everyone. So the issue now is, one, separate between the activity ongoing and your personality incoming. So what do you look at? By the time you make that clear-cut separation, it won't go into your head and you are racking your brain. What will I do? What will I not do in the short run, in the intermediate, and in the long run?
Doc, I really need you. I really need you to bring examples to this. I need it as relatable as it can be.
Very vital. You are spending. You budgeted that you are going to spend 10,000 for transport.
Right.
And suddenly, today is September 5th, and you've already spent 8,000. Meanwhile, your budget for transport is 10,000.
So, and this is just the first week of the month.
This is just the first week. So what do? You see, Joy, when you are pressed, whatever is in you is what comes out. And that is the issue about life, the way you should understand it. If you take mango and you press it, mango juice will come out. You take onion, tomato, and you press it, tomato juice will come out. You take lemon and you press it, lemon juice will come out. So whenever you are pressed, hard pressed by life, the good side of it is that whatever is in you comes out. And usually, Eduvention says every day is a behavioral variable where the good, the bad, and the ugly comes out. So on a very critical note, whatever is in you is what comes out. So you should sit yourself down and be aware. Be present in the moment to say, okay, well, although I'm not happy, but this hard press situation has pressed out my good, my bad, and my ugly. And therefore, what happened? You separate. Okay, this is my bad self. It has brought out my anger. This is my good self. It has hit my creativity to see what else I can reel out from the inside by way of value creation. So that instead of just waiting for that single monocultural income, just as we have monocultural product, you are looking for streams of other income. What can you do? What are the quick fixes you can do? Possibly some of the things we just give for free and say, well, just for free and all of that. You start
now
putting some
monetizing
you monetize it. It's not your fault.
Right.
You have gift. This is the time to bring it out. You have talent. This is the time to be pressed out. This is the time to quit the place called comfort zone. This is not the time to practice the law of relativism. I'm better than this. We are better than that and that. No, 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 no. You have to be factual with yourself. Otherwise, you won't go too further. Otherwise, so many beds will sack the occupant overnight. How? Instead of your room becoming bedroom, it's going to become bedroom. Just as you roam your phone.
Right.
You can be on the bed, but you travel to so many other parts of the client looking for what is not lost.
But Doc, even on this show, you have talked about how sometimes we are already very busy enough as it is. We are constant. We don't know how to prioritize and balance our work,
and life.
We are coming to that work and life.
Very vital.
Okay, so now it's good to know that in spite of the pressures,
yes,
we can still balance work and life. Okay, so since you say you're getting there,
very vital. You need to be able to strike a balance, not to lose restraint and cast aspersion into the air, cast senses into the air. So identify what is on ground and define it. It has come to stay. No propaganda will take it away. No protest will take it away. You will have to bear the brunt. So what can I do for a quick fix? Very vital. I told you first, separate between your life, your health, from that phenomenon that is ongoing, so that you can go to bed peacefully, easily, and quietly. You are not going to carry no backlogs to bed and start thinking and ranking your head and all that. That's where mental health is so critical.
Right.
You have to be healthy to look for food. It's only when you are healthy that you can examine what areas of strength you have with which to do work and to create extra wealth. Because health, look at the priority, Joy. Health is foundational to creating and evolving your strength. And with your health and your strength, you can diversify to creating wealth by virtue of value creation. So I identify, define what particular thing you will want to veer into as a quick fix. And for example, you are going to work, you are not used to picking people by the roadside and all that, and you just put the pride down.
Is it out of pride or security?
At times.
Because sometimes it's out of your
where you find
security.
a mammoth crowd standing. I'm not talking of one or two, but a mammoth crowd is standing and all that, and they are whatever. And they are saying, please, we will pay. There are some obvious situations and circumstances. You say, well, 1,000, and people will rush it. That's the place where they pay 2,500 for because of situation. You say it's 1,000, oh, and then you collect money there and pocket it before you drive up. It's not written on your face that Joy Asonye life is now commuting and picking
What
passengers.
happens to my steez? Never mind.
At least that says shock absorber,
Right.
a temporary respite. So whatever your hands finds to do, you have a skill, it's the time to bring it out and all of that. You define what you can do and then evaluate the process. Who needs what I have? How can I be of a better service? What are those things I have that are just mere liabilities that I can convert to asset? Very vital. Those are the things you look at. You have a car and all that, empty space and all, and you are going the same route as at that time, convert it to an asset. Make a little money, extra income there, and get by. And then the letter A is administration of such solutions. You administer it. Who can I empower? So there are some women there who they are just idle and we're looking for where to grind. Buy grinding machines. Share money with them. Say, madam, how much can you make if you will have to grind at the mill for 1 week? And madam says, I can make 10,000. You say, if you have machine, you can make 10,000. Okay, if I buy 2 for you, which is 20,000 per week, can we share the money? I says, why not? So you buy the machine and give over and then share the proceed. You say, madam, you do all the servicing and all that. That is being smart. It's not by multiplying the number of traffic you do as a commuter just because you want to make more money. You will break down. You are working hard and not working smart.
Right.
This is the time to find out how to work smart. And then, like me as a consultant, where I'm charging 50K for consulting and all that, I will find a means of maybe adding a 5K to it.
If you're a businessman, as you say, and
if
you look at the economy,
and you look at
it
the
might not be 5,000 you add.
So you just look at a little extra, optimal, we call it,
that will
capture at least make you to break even. So that you don't break your neck. You either break even now or break your neck. And when you get to breaking your neck, it is a mental health issue for which Eduvention frowns at.
We'll get to how we can solve the mental health issue and what quick fixes, quick things you can do to just protect yourself.
Very vital.
But you have just mentioned the beautiful basis as to how the situation is and little things you can do. But a lot of people looking at you would say, I mean, the pressures still are there when you wake up in the morning and all that. What would you say? What would you say the solution is? Is it time to leave your job? For some people who, right now, it costs more to go to work than the salaries you're getting. Would you say leave your job and think?
You can't just say leave your job, because the devil is better than the angel you have never met. If you leave your job, what job leaves you, then what happens? Hunger is an advanced cause. And it's a core cause.
And yet, hunger isn't such a bad thing. It could bring about innovation.
But this kind of physical hunger, I'm telling you, Joy, is actually destructive. It doesn't build. It distorts innovation, because if you are hungry, you become angry. And where you mix your sandwich, hunger plus anger, you are going to get violence, not value. No, hunger plus anger produces violence.
Wow.
And it cannot be violence until there is a violation within. And where you begin to edge out of your personal lifestyle protocol and say, no, this is too much. I can't take it anymore. And then you are ready to do anything. You are angry and you are hungry at the same time. You do violence. And no man will ever do violence until he has violated himself from the inside. So that's why you have to be cute and calculated
and calm.
At such a time like this, so as to face the reality on ground and to see your good anger, your bad anger, and your ugly anger. You put the ugly anger and the bad anger in one side and put the good anger. It's the good anger that leads to creativity, innovation, and then seeing the quick fixes that you can easily follow now. And by the rule of Eduvention, where your persona hobnob with your potential, you are going to create production, because your identity is right intact. You are not pushed out of your own center. You have found your equilibrium. Then you can look at some strength, some competencies, some capacities, and some of the things you feel, no, I'm more than this, I'm more than this. You bring yourself down to reality.
Forget about steez.
Forget about steez and all that. What will people say?
And demure. Forget about all that.
Forget about all of that. No, you are going to be orderly from the within to the other. Outside. But to say, where I'm thinking at my level, that's
at my age and size.
At my age and size. Don't break your back. Don't break your protocol. But whatever you know you will do that will add value to somebody and give you a payment for it, go ahead and do it so far it is legitimate. And it will not be an aberration to who you are, or a what do we call it in civil service now? Conflict of interest. As long as it will not conflict with your interest, then go ahead and do it. And another thing you can do is to minimize expenses. That's why the way you cluster your time matters a huge lot. At such a time like this, time is life.
Right.
Time is money. Time is value. So cluster your time. Maybe you're the one who wakes up, you watch Voodoo Part 1 to 5 and all of that, just catching fun every time.
You're sounding like such an old man. I don't know what Voodoo means. Maybe you're referring to telenovelas like a lot of people do.
You say people just catch fun in some things that are not really funding
valuable,
them.
Right.
You are catching fun that is not funding you. You are just on one corner. So we're saying whatever fun you catch should bring you out in your best version. That's what I mean. Not just waking up to watch some video and then you are TikToking and surfing the net and burning
data. Which is resources you should have used.
Which is resources you should have used in sending a video out, or taking a lesson, or just building yourself to finding out more. And Joy, if there's any time to invest in yourself more, it is now. When the economy is nosediving, your personal policy should
go up.
Nose up, not nosedive. You should drive up. You should see opportunities open to you, because once you are pressed, what is inside you will come out. And usually what is inside you is called potential. And when it spills out, it touches problem on the outside. So until the potential on the inside touches problems on the outside, there can be no production.
So, but do you need to be squeezed before potential come out rather?
Life is either by choice or by force.
Right. So
you either do it by choice, just like some of us do it. We press ourselves to bring out all the juices. And that's what brought me, I should have said, Joy Asonye life, no Eduvention today. But I squeezed myself to be here.
In spite of the fear.
Not that police will arrest me for not coming here. But I had to squeeze to be here.
Right.
Because I have placed value on this program that somebody out there is going to be impacted and catch a life, catch fun to make the fund.
Well, Dr. James, it's time to go for a short break. If I've gotten anything, it is that what you have inside will be out when you are squeezed. It's time for that potential to come out. But that's not all. We'll go for a short break. We'll return to discuss so much more. Be coming down as in spite of the economic challenges. That's what we're discussing right here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daybreak Africa provides. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can do a lot of
politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment, fashion, culinary skills.
So first I'm going to be pouring the oil inside the pot.
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on Star Times. Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that they...
Welcome back. Today, like we said earlier, we've been discussing economic challenges and your mental health. How can you keep your head above water and not feel like you're sinking at all times? That's what we're discussing on today's Eduvention hour. And Dr. James Komolafe, senior consultant with Sapa Resources, is right here and has been giving us good perspectives and tips on how you can go moving on. It's funny because, when you go to the fuel stations and have to buy fuel for as much as 1,000 naira, in some stations more than 1,000 naira, and you remember Dr. James Komolafe telling you, just keep calm. It might be tough for you, Doc. Let's get to the other tips that you have, just to ensure that you don't sink in that mental pressure in spite of the economic challenges around us.
Just like I did say, you don't have to sink, rather think. When you don't think, you will stink. And it is when you are stinking, you will start sinking.
Okay. That's a twister
necessary.
right there.
What is the sufficient stuff? As you think, you want to be able to do self-assessment, personal evaluation, to see what you have within you and around you to be able to route what is happening in the short run, in the intermediate, and in the long run. And even in some offices now, they are very humane. They say, don't come to work.
Or sometimes,
5 times a week.
Make it 3 times.
They do roster. And some of the jobs, they say, take it home. Send it across the net. And all of those stuff. These are all palliatives. They are not permanent solution.
Right.
But we are saying, and that's why civil service, we need to rejig some of these conventions and rules.
Okay.
To be sure that it's not until when it is 3 months to retirement, 2 years to retirement, you start doing the hogwash, doing training here and there, and you are berserk. You don't know what happens next. That's why issues of insecurity, fear, and phobia steps in, which is a convolution to your mental health. So keep your head at bay. Don't sink with the weather. And not to sink with the weather, please take good care of yourself. If there's any time to be well hydrated, it is now. You might want to say, what is the linkage between drinking water and now? You need to be fluidy. Because when you are not fluidy, you can be foolish. There's a linkage between whether you are fluidy and when you are not fluidy. A dehydrated man is easily put off. He has short fuses. So, what is your water content? And what is your relationship with water therapy? Take more fluid. Be fluidy.
Really?
So that you don't get foolish.
I didn't know there was a connection.
There's
I
a
mean, I know
nexus.
Everybody talks about how
The way
how
you
necessary it is to drink a
to
lot
drink
of water
Yes.
and be fluidy, like you said.
It has a conversational
but I mean,
consequence.
I didn't know it had a conversational consequence.
It does, because you see, the state of your mind would tell us how you feel, and how you feel will determine what kind of emotion you exude.
Right.
And then the kind of emotion you exude will tell us what conversation
You would have.
you will have with anybody. And then you can spill a bean on anybody.
Please drink water.
So drink water. Water is free. Water is life. Calm down. Eh? When you drink water, you sweat it out. And then eat food. Eat right. Eat to time. This is not the time to waste. Just because the children forgot to put the remaining food in the fridge, that doesn't mean that food is completely spoiled. You are going to throw it away to the dustbin. This is the time to meet again and eat. Don't accommodate waste. This is not the time to waste. Whatever you can further process, process it. Whatever is not useful to you and is accumulating and occupying space around your space, dispose of them. Put the money somewhere. Of what you packing for 5 cars. This one is for wedding. This one is for festivity. This one is for special invitation. That one, you are wasteful. Look at what you can do to turn those liabilities to asset. The ones you can package for Uber, package them for Uber. Look for the good driver. We run Uber for you. Let what you have that can generate resources for you
Start generating.
start generating. Don't amass so much, and you are saying you are saving for the rainy day, and even when the rainy day comes, you are still beaten by the same rain. That's another mental health issue.
Right.
Gone are the days people will stock foreign currencies in GP Town, in Beria Grand.
Are there gone are the days, or we haven't?
We're
no longer intensely. I don't know if the problem is that it no longer happens, or
maybe because it's not been exposed.
Maybe exactly.
Because Joy, I can tell you for free, there are still some folks out there who will stockpile currencies just for keeps.
Is that not
madness.
Is that not a mental health
It's
issue?
a mental health violation. It shows that you are not well, because
Right.
what you have is possessing you. You are not possessing it, and that's the issue. Anything that possesses you, it could even be good, the bad, or the ugly, and you are no longer in charge. It's a mental health challenge. You need therapy to be able to reorganize yourself and put the priority where it matters. Otherwise, you will be down in violation. And when you are down in violation, you cannot at the same time find definition. And where you cannot find definition, you will of course find deviation. And where you are deviating, you go into something else that will not go well for you, people around you, and the society. And that is mental health. So, the state of your mind now matters a huge lot. What do you take inside and what comes out of you matter in mental health. The value of your thought, the value of your feelings, the value of your emotion. And you see, this is not the time to fight.
Okay.
Don't take it on anybody. Don't put anybody on at arm's length. Don't unnecessarily shout, because you see, immunity is breaking down because people are not feeding well. Woe betide the man who slaps another or spanks another and he faints on the spot. They charge you for murder. So the question of I didn't really mean it should not come up.
Don't even fight at all.
Anybody who offends you, beg and walk away.
Or go to court.
Well, that's another keg of gunpowder. That you say we are discussing economic matter, not legal or political. So just walk away. Choose to be hot while you just overlook, and then don't bottle up the bad toxin.
How do you not bottle up if you don't express it by let's say, fighting, like as it is some people's
There are good
ways.
expression.
Okay.
There are the bad expression. Joy, that's bad driving. You are talking about the issue. Joy, you are a bad driver. You are taking
Yeah,
it up on
attack
people.
on
You
the
are
personality,
attacking
right?
on personality. So you must be able to find the world of difference between a particular situation and a particular personality.
Right.
Don't
So
take it
emotional
on.
intelligence here.
Is critical. Know yourself. Know what you stand for and self-regulate. Know your environment. Know what obtains and showcase empathy, according to Daniel Goleman, the father of emotional intelligence.
Right.
So very vital. This is the time to be emotionally intelligent, where you are not too harsh, neither are you too soft. Because if you are too soft in this current day of Nigeria and Africa, everybody will build things on you. And they will just say, oh, there. That word, oh, there. Is whatever. And they have their way where you are having your say.
So build a balance or learn to have a
Life
balance.
calls for balance.
Right.
Find your equilibrium between your health, your strength, and your wealth. Know your limit even when you are not limiting your knowledge. Very vital. And this is not a time to copy anybody. Just be yourself. Be present. In fact, you need an IDP without the camp.
Right.
I, you are intentional. D, you are decisive. And P, you are present at the moment. IDP. And where you don't do IDP for a mantra, of course, you might need IDP camp.
That is
for resuscitation.
being intentional.
You have to be intentional about what you do.
Right.
Even your smile must be intentional.
Oh, there are times when
there are smiles that generate income for you according to Eduvention laws.
Really?
Yes.
Can I know where and when I can do that? I think I have I have smiles enough to share.
Yeah, that's an asset. You don't know.
Ooh.
When you pay me, I package you to generate fun through your smile. Everything you have
is
that gives
to
people value is an asset. And there's a way you can package it, project it for production. And what is production? The creation of goods and services. And you do service. Now, Joy, have you ever seen any of these Afromedia billboard where you find somebody in their advertorial cranking the head and just being mad upstairs? No, you find that dazzling lady. She may not have eaten for 2 days, but she
she's
will give
looking
a
well
smile,
dressed and
well-dressed, kinky, and all of that, just like your own smile. You see,
and just like that, it registers in your head that I should buy this product. It's making this person smile.
Making this person is psychology. So very vital. You should look at what can work within your space and turn them to work. The one that cannot work, that are disincentive, please put a cross on them, push them aside. The one you can turn, because actually, when you are talking about turn around, if you've been having it negative and negative, all you need to have it the other way is a turn. So what do you need to turn? How do you reinvent yourself? Very vital.
How do you reinvent yourself? Especially at this period
At this period.
Don't
just be that one-way traffic man all of the time. As it was yesterday, so it is today, and so shall it be forever. Whoa. No. The only constant thing people say is change. So learn to transform. And the word transform or transformation has 2 words. You can break it into 2 words. Transfer plus what? Formation.
Right.
So what do you need to transfer to be able to create a new formation? And then these are not the days of one man show, one man island. No, collaborate, network, leverage. You have a function to run and you know I have a hall you can use. instead of going somewhere else to use a very mighty gigantic hall that will cost you a multiple of what I have, you can leverage with me, you can collaborate with me, and we run it together while I give my hall for free. You cut costs.
So find partners.
Don't cut your hand, but
Right.
cut.
So find partners
Find partners.
that can give you what
Collaborate.
you want, and you give them as well.
All those things. Negotiate. Win-win. This is just the time to be up and doing. Don't sit down alone bemoaning what is happening. You keep complaining and listening to newspaper review. I want to let you know that from now on, and even before now, newspaper report will not tell you the good side of it. You tell you this is happening, that is happening, tighten your belt, and all of that. So, very vital. Eduvention says, please be yourself. Find out what you have and what can you become in the short run, in the intermediate, and in the long run. Don't sit just idling away to say, well, I will wait when things change. Things usually don't change. You are the one who
That will
should change. That's why one of our previous government says, change begin where?
With me.
With me. It does change begin with you? So change will have to begin with you. You want a change out there, and nobody can change any human being. You change, and then you'll be copied, and then you can cope well. So your coping mechanism is so vital at this moment. You can't cope, I'm sorry, it's going to go into your head. And once it goes into your head, it can increase and raise your blood pressure. Your temperature can rise. Some sort of confusion can set in. And mental health don't get to show on the face immediately. It incubates on the inside. It's so insidious, causing some damages inside. So that's why Eduvention says, please package to manage in order to avoid the damages. Don't do damage to yourself. Separate between yourself and what is happening around. And people say, doctor, how do I get to do that? So simple. I am a human being, so I have to be first. And that's why, you see, it's going to impact so hugely on some people's sleep. If you are the one who commits bed abuse, that's sin against yourself in bed. What do you do in bed
So
abuse?
what does that entail? Oversleeping?
Not necessarily. Bed abuse. You go to bed,
And you're still at work.
you are at work. Your mind is fully loaded. The files you left at your office, you carry it mentally.
If some
The
people
documents, the details inside,
Wow.
and your brain. And so while you are in bed, page 13, okay, I should balance it this way. But the issue is in page 16 actually. So you are at work, even while in bed. That is bed abuse.
Some of us will be arrested if that was a crime.
You have
Some of
two
us are-
phones, like Peter, like James and John on your bed, and they are ringing for free where you say you are sleeping. And you say, please call me later, I am sleeping. That's bed abuse. Your bedroom, on your bed, that's where you eat your dinner. You have a small table by the side and a small fridge. That is no longer bedroom.
That has
You
become
have
everything. The dining, the sitting room.
is right there because you just want to conserve
in some
space.
cases, even kitchen.
And
You
kitchen.
find yourself doing everything in the
And
bedroom.
that's why when you sleep at night, you actually sleep, but you don't rest, because all of these variables are shooting vibrational bullet on your mind. You start having bad dreams, and you wonder why you are not resting and relaxing, because your ecosystem is not framed for
Right.
rest, so you are not resting. What's within, what's without. It could be bad out there, but your room
should be.
I think one of these days we should tell the world out there what Eduvention is saying about your rest and relaxation, so that you don't just think because you are not outside of your house and you are in the room all day long, you are resting. You may be working more than a factory site worker, even while in bedroom. because we want to check what is happening in your mental recesses. What are the issues on your mind? What are the issues around your feeling? Where is your energy drawn towards? What are you being passionate about? What is preoccupying your mind? Is it the good when you are defined, or the bad when you are defiled, or the ugly when you are deviated? So all these things matter as far as your mental health is concerned. So your mental health is critical. And when we say mental health, it doesn't mean you are mad. Don't wait to be mad. I don't believe every human being has madness inside them.
Okay.
No, you have smartness. Tilt to smartness. Work on your good person and bring out that smart guy that can produce, that can weather through the storm. Because potentials are giving you to knock the door of problems and to get them open. Where you have problems out there, then there are potentials in here
Right.
that you should utilize. So find out the one you can engage creatively and constructively to generate value for production, for yourself, and for people who need what you have. This is not the time to sit in one place. Go to where you are needed. Simple marketing destination. Look for it. I have something to supply. Where is it needed for a demand? Look for it. It could be tiny. It could be service. It could be goods. It could be anything. It could even be linking people. And you know, the digital space now
Allows you to
is a
try
gold
this.
mine.
Yes.
You can stay in your room and you are exchanging products, goods, and services, and all that. You can stay in your house. You remember I just marked my birthday. Some cakes flew to me without the person sending it. Come in. Just say, doctor, we're sending you this. Oh, happy birthday. And a dispatch rider is out there calling me and bringing it to where I am. So you can do transaction without the hustle and bustle of the sun and of the fuel stuff.
Yeah, everybody is just positioned
You have to
provide solution.
Very critical. Position for solution. Transform what is out there. And you see, where you have too many issues, then you should have you should create so many tissues to meet up with the issues on ground.
I need you to say that again.
Where you have so many
issues
on ground,
Right.
you should produce so many tissues to be able to meet up with the issues on ground.
Okay.
Every issue on ground has a tissue at hand to meet up with it. So find out where you are tissued. Otherwise, you'll be chiseled out of life. So very critical. These are lessons of Eduvention.
Okay, we really have run out of time, but if you have your final thoughts on the matter, what would it be? Economic issues are
You
pressing.
want to test yourself mentally, eduventionally speaking, just reach out to Joy Asonye Live through the telephone number that is displayed. We'll send you a free assessment to test for mental fitness, emotional fitness at such a time like this. And then you want to be able to see what comes out of you when you are pressed. Everybody is pressed now. Not just the anger and the hunger that produces violence, but there is a hunger deep beneath you that produces value. We can also send you a free incentive to check neck up for that, so that you can be good neck down. And when you are good neck down, you will be great leg forward.
Dr. James Komolafe, thank you so much for being part of today's edition. It's always wonderful to hear those very comforting tips that helps us with our lifestyle protocol. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, as you all already know, today is Wednesday, Eduvention hour. We try to get this hour once again to get into ourselves internally. What is going on? How can we be better? And that's why we bring to you Eduvention. But we'll be back tomorrow with so much more to discuss those very important political issues that affect all of us. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for being part of the program as well.